So one more thing we definitely have to talk about right now, that not as many people know as should know, and want to know, is that wheelchair basketball is a scholarship sport at how many universities in this country? 15? Is it 15?
As of this year, I think it is 18. Actually.
18.
I think it is
okay.
at this, and we're definitely trying to boost that number for sure.
And so, how many other student athlete veterans did you encounter during your time as a scholarship athlete here?
Not enough.
Yeah.
Not enough. Very few, to be very honest with you. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Part of it is that our veteran population, we have failed at doing a good enough job in showing them what the opportunities are outside once they're injured. A lot of our veterans, and myself included, so please don't think I was like, oh, as soon as it happened. No, myself included. A lot of what happens is we come home, we get injured, we fight with the VA for our benefits, we receive our benefits, some of us fast, some of us very slow, which is not good, but we receive our benefits and then we just kind of go off into life. Yeah. And no one tells us what's available to us. I got injured in 2003, okay? I was permanent to my chair by the time in 2008. I didn't know adapted sports existed until August of 2013.
Wow, yeah.
You know, I didn't know this. And if it wasn't for a chance encounter, when I had all those, you know, I ended up in the hospital having, you know, like I said, allergic pain medicine, allergic muscle relaxers. I had an allergic reaction that literally almost killed me. You know, they were in the room, you know, with my wife holding my hand saying, we don't think he's going to make it. Thankfully, I did pull through, and the next day I had a rec therapist at the VA who happened to just want to do her job that day, who was, I don't want to say it like that, but who was just happened to be like, I see something. And she came in my room and she went, wow, you're a young guy and you're really big, and why aren't you playing adaptive sports? And I went, what? What are you talking about? And she gave me a pamphlet for the Lakeshore Foundation in Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah, Lakeshore.
Love Lakeshore. So if anybody's out there, contact Lakeshore. They're amazing. But it was that interaction after so long after my initial injury that got me involved in adaptive sports, and everything that, you know, and I know you know about it, I'm sure the links will talk about it, but everything I've ever done, okay, started with that woman that day who just happened to say, God, you're young. So my concern is that it's not a lack of will, it's a lack of knowledge. And that is a problem. So if you're cadre on campus, or you, and I know a lot of the cadre, all of them, but I know a lot of them spend time at, you know, hospitals where, you know, newly injured people are, or newly injured veterans are. Go there. Ask them, do you have any interest in playing adaptive sports? A lot of them initially will say no. And I'll tell you why they'll say no, because their mind is so focused on what their injury is and how life is going to be. But you have to get them out of that mindset. You have to get them to understand that you're alive and you're going to survive. So you're going to leave the hospital eventually. And the hardest day of an injury is not the injury. It's the day you leave the hospital when you're by yourself and you go, what do I do now? And if you can be that person there going, not only is there adaptive sports, but there's college adaptive sports. You can go back to school, you can be a collegiate athlete, you can get your degree, you can have this wonderful life that you thought, and most veterans think this way, that you thought you lost. You can still go and have that wonderful story, and I did. You know, even later on in life, but I got to live that college dream. I got to spend 3 years at one of the best, in my opinion, the best university, Roll Tide, and one of, you know, the best, you know, athletic universities on the planet. And I got to represent that and I got to be a part of the building, and, you know, and all these wonderful things. But it started with somebody telling me it was possible. That it even existed. So I go out of your way. If you think they know, they don't know, I promise you. Because I cannot tell you how many veterans I run across on a day-to-day basis. Almost every single day I meet at least 2 or 3 that don't know that adaptive sports exist. And that is travesty, because even if veterans say, I have no interest in getting my college education, I don't care, what am I going to need a degree for? Which, by the way, I was one of those. What do I need a degree for? I'm taken care of financially. I'm in a wheelchair. What do I need a degree for? And the carrots of playing college sports is what brought me here. And as soon as I got here, I went, whoa, there's something big going on here. There's something different. I'm supposed to be here. This feels right. You know, I need to be here. And I know, because I've done it with other athletes, other veterans who I have, and okay, if anybody from Alabama sees this, sorry, but I did recruit a lot of guys to go to University of Texas at Arlington in Illinois in Whitewater, because it was closer to their home, closer to their family. And I told them, I said, you have the GI Bill. You have your benefits. Why aren't you going back to school? You already want to be an athlete. It's a perfect combination.
Yeah.
And then you're going to come out the other side of 3 to 5 years of playing high-level collegiate basketball. You could go be a professional overseas. I've been there. You can, take your degree and advance off in whatever you want in the world, but you will be significantly more prepared for the life that you have to live as a paraplegic, as a quad, as an amputee, than you were before you went there. There is no greater opportunity than to go back to college and get your degree and be around other men and women who are in a similar situation as you are, veteran or not veteran, and to show you what life can possibly be, and that you're not any different. You're the same as you were before. You're just a little altered on how you get around, but you're the same. And that is huge. And normalcy is a big thing. So we can use college athletics to get veterans who have suffered catastrophic injury back into life. I believe there's no better route or opportunity than to find them when they're newly injured and show them that life is still there and you can still feel normal. And by that, be a college athlete, get your degree, roll across the stage. I just did. It was one of the most important days and happiest days of my life. I teared up on stage. I did my famous pose and got yelled at by the president. And,
in a friendly way.
In a friendly way. So President Bell is a very nice man. It's not a lack of desire, it's a lack of knowledge. And that's where the ROTC can be huge.
Yes, and I'm so glad you said that, because I know a lot of cadre have cadets who are STEM majors and who want to go into physical therapy, or who want to go into recreational therapy or occupational therapy or medical sciences or what have you, and maybe they don't know what a huge impact those professionals have on the newly injured population for saying, like, hey, adapted sports is out there. And that's a way that cadets can, when they're as interns maybe in those fields.
Do not assume that the people you're around are telling the people that need to know. Do not assume they have that information, and do not assume that they're providing it. Because, I would guess, somewhere between 50 to 75% of veterans that come out do not know that this exists. Okay, some of them see the Invictus Games, they see the Warrior Games and that type of thing, and they're all wonderful. But the problem is that is a minute percentage of the population of newly injured veterans that is involved in that. Most come out without ever having any interaction with someone who has told them, like me, someone who has told them that these things exist. So the RTC program and the people that are interning at the different rehab facilities and everything, just ask. You're not going to get in trouble for saying, hey, have you ever heard of wheelchair basketball? Hey, have you ever seen wheelchair rugby? Oh, have you heard of bocce? And oh, they're quadriplegic, they can't play a sport. That's not true. Quadriplegics are the only ones who can play wheelchair rugby.
Murder ball.
Murder ball. And it is the, hi Bob, and murder ball. And it is the second biggest spectator sport of all adapted sports. And if you ask them, it is the best sport. And every last one of them is either a quadruple amputation or a quad. You cannot be a paraplegic and play murder ball at a high level. It's not allowed. So regardless of what their injury is, there is a sport they can be playing, and it's quickly advancing across college campuses to being there's not just a sport they can be playing, but there's a sport they can be playing collegiately. So do not assume that they know, or even the people you're working with know the information. And if you need or you have questions about the information, check out the links, contact me. I don't care. I will answer any question I can. It is a huge honor to be able to facilitate whatever I can to grow adapted sports amongst the veterans population, because it's done so much for me. Adapted sports literally gave me my life back. I was on my deathbed, and 6 years later, I've been professional, I've been collegiate, I've starred in movies, I've starred in commercials, I've done everything and things I never dreamed of. And it started with someone walking in my room and going, have you ever heard of adapted athletics? So by all means, anything I can do, any questions I can answer, I'm sure Meg will throw up a link to where you can get a hold of me, and I would love to be able to continue giving any information I can out.
Thank you, Sergeant Shaun Castle.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.